Yo, I hate doing these videos. Ugh, I have such a hard time spitting things out sometimes. What's up, y'all? What's up, Xtreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck, and this is Xtreme Gainz. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. I hope y'all are having a better weekend than me. I hate doing these things. I struggle sometimes to get these videos out. And on top of all of that, I'm struggling with it today. I ended up doing an entire take that I made it the whole way through and realized when I went to stop the recording that I never hit the effing record button in the beginning. So just having a terrible go at it here with this update and prep video. So hang in there with me. I appreciate you all coming by to watch the video. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. If you're not subscribed to the channel, smash the subscribe button as well. I'm going to go over all my regulars here, my snake algo method for all three tickers, some macro comparatives, and some side-by-side projections, and then the fulfillment of those projections from Wednesday night's update and prep video and Thursday and Friday's price action. So with all of that said, let's dig in. All right, I hope you all had a great end of the week as well in the market last week, and I hope you made some extreme gains for yourselves. Like I said, the last update and prep video I made was on Wednesday night, so that is what I'm going to be referencing in this video. So currently on your screen is AMC and my current intra-week snakes. AMC finished the day on Friday, regular trading hours, down 1.83%, and then down an additional 0.43% in after hours, ending the week trading at $6.94. The current intra-week snakes, we talked about two different things here. Dependent upon this technical setup, would go ahead and potentially indicate which position of fulfillment we would be receiving moving forward, whether it be the straight up and continuation to upside fulfillment or the downside continuation of mirrored fulfillment. The current setup here from a technical perspective as of Wednesday night, we were sitting right there at the peak. I talked about the neckline here of this potential W formation, but prior to that, price action would have to reject back downside to the significant level of support there in that framework for that potential W formation, and that is exactly the fulfillment that we got on both Thursday and Friday. There is the screenshot from Wednesday night's update and prep video, the location of price action within it, the downside projection from it with the circle where price action was projected to go, and the dead on 100% fulfillment of it with Thursday and Friday's price action. So that is an indication of continued downside mirrored fulfillment. It's not yet a confirmation. Where it becomes a confirmation will be if and when it breaches that 683 to downside level. That will be the confirmation of continued downside mirrored fulfillment. If it does that, what am I expecting mirrored fulfillment to look like? Well, we looked at the intra-week snakes in the mirrored position as if this were to be used as a pivot point and not continue its upside fulfillment like it was projecting in the straight up, and use that as a pivot point to pivot this price action and mirror it in that position. So there's the day prior to in its mirrored position, and you can see it's been candle for candle since its placement. And here is the day of divergence with its mirrored position. Here is the side-by-side from last night's update and prep video from Wednesday night's update and prep video last night's. See what I mean? There's the position of price action within it, the projection from it, and the fulfillment of it as well. You can see what the projection is from them moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill them in the mirrored position. Now, what happens if we get the bounce and we fulfill that W formation? Well, I think it's fairly reasonable and possible to view the current price action as a portion of or a small mirroring of the intra-week snakes in their straight up position. And then if that W fulfills, we would get a convergence back upside. Prior to that, though, we have two levels of potential resistance to breach back to the upside. First would be the neckline at 771, and then would be the reverse third that I have in here with that descending level of resistance, which was support at one time here. We will be looking at that, and that will be somewhere in the range of 790 to $7.50. So $7.50 to $8, dependent upon the area in which it were to breach that. The two of those together are creating a confluence of resistance right here with an X marks the spot where they are intersecting there, what appears to be Tuesday morning. If that has any relevance moving forward, we will find out Tuesday. Other than that, you can see what the projection would be if price action were to fulfill that bounce off of that significant level of support and fulfill the W formation for that move back upside, moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue fulfilling them in that position. And that is everything that I am looking at with AMC and the intra-week snakes. Up next is the macro comparative for AMC. Now, I've been toying with this because the original placement of this was not continuing to fulfill at the level in which I would like it to fulfill without me trying to justify and manipulate the macro comparative. So I wanted to reevaluate it all together, and I did using this same macro comparative, which is the blue one here, which is the flipped position of the previous double bottom 2 doors back. I use this exact same macro comparative from peak to peak here and everything in between. It's all documented here on the channel. If you want to go check that out, you can. If not, you can just believe what I say because it's true. And then, so what we have here is the exact same position of that macro comparative in its flipped position, just extended in its placement, replicating a 4 hour for 4 hour, candle for candle projection and fulfillment as you see it throughout. And in this position, it has remained and kept the integrity of all of the previous projection and fulfillment that it had previously given. What it has done is move price action back to the middle of the entire comparative and the entire fractal versus being out here on the end right now. So in that position, you can see that we've continued to have complete fulfillment between the straight up and the mirrored, and then you can see what the projection would be moving forward. Now, both of them are in this position projecting upside. The red is obviously the mirrored, projecting that W formation fulfilled and upside, and to converge back with the straight up flip position, the blue, it would have to converge and move back upside for continued fulfillment. Now, what I do on a micro intraday level when I'm working the micro intraday snakes is I would move this down to project a level changed mirrored fulfillment of what that upside is, because they're both projecting upside. And I never like to not be prepared for either direction and use levels to dictate the confirmation, an indication and confirmation of those levels. So that's how I would move that and be looking at it. That would run hand in hand with the intra-week snakes as well, with the breach of the descending, or I'm sorry, the significant level of support to downside here would potentially indicate that continued downside fulfillment as the mirrored position of the intra-week snakes are showing. And likewise, the neckline and the confluence of resistance that's happening right here would potentially indicate and confirm that continued upside fulfillment. Then the second position that I had looked at, and that I'm keeping my eye on, is just using the flipped by itself. And that is moving this over here, therefore indicating that this bottom is the top, just mirrored down here. So fulfilled, mirrored, and now we're getting continuous fulfillment out of it in this position. This projects very, very, very similar to the red mirrored position that I just showed you. A little bit nuanced from what it is showing, but nonetheless, they are both projecting an upside move initially here, and then we get different with the characteristics of movements once we get up there. So I am going to be looking at all of that and the characteristics of movements with all of that regarding these macro comparatives moving into tomorrow and beyond when it comes to AMC. But that's everything that I'm looking at, and a little bit of an inside track as to how I look at these macro comparatives with these tickers. All right, then up next is GME. GME finished today on Friday, down 1.3% in regular trading hours, and then up 0.08% in after hours, ending the week trading at 25.15. Excuse me. All right, then we have the current intra-week snakes on your screen. The previous intra-week snake expired, fulfilled, and I clipped what could be potential new intra-week snakes, and I placed them on here at the beginning of last week with a one-day overlap, and you can see the continued fulfillment of both of them thus far. It does look like a decision-making position with that divergence between the two of them tomorrow. If not, it'll definitely be Wednesday by the looks of things. So you can see what the projection is from them both moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill them. Then the macro comparative for GME. Likewise to AMC is from a previous double bottom. I have previously used this in both the straight up and the mirrored position for the last 5.5 months worth of price action projected and fulfilled. In its straight up position, it projected this large double bottom just like the intra-week snake, and then it projected the upside move, the neckline breach, and then the macro neckline breach up here. Unfortunately, it stopped midway up and rejected back downside as projected here on the channel prior to it doing so with the intra-week snakes that you now see. So we're either doing one of two things. Likewise to AMC, if this movement right here is what's being fulfilled in a mirrored manner down here and we were to converge back upside, it would obviously take one hell of a hard upside move and a blow up to the upside for that to converge back with it and continue fulfilling it in its straight up position. However, I think it's an indication and a potential confirmation of that fulfilling itself in the mirrored position. And in that mirrored position, this would be the placement of it right there. And if that were the case, you can see what the projection would be from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if it were to continue fulfilling in the mirrored position. Now, with this macro comparative, it has given dead on projection of fulfillment for over 5 months. If it diverts from either one of those, meaning a hard upside move or hard downside move, by Tuesday, I will be invalidating this macro comparative and potentially looking for another one to move forward with, or just relying upon the intra-week snakes and the technical setups for GME. So that's everything I am looking at with GME moving into tomorrow and beyond. Last but not least is SPY. SPY finished the day on Friday, regular trading hours, down 1.55%, and then up 0.21% in after hours, ending the week trading at 357.93. The current intra-week snakes on your screen, we had the previous one project that upside move and then a consolidative area, and we fulfilled that upside move initially and then rejected back downside as projected by potential new intra-week snakes like GME. So here are the two clips of the two potential new intra-week snakes, and you can see the continued fulfillment of both of them throughout last week, and you can see where we're at within them and what the projection is from them moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill them. And damn, I forgot to show you the GME side-by-sides. Here is SPY side-by-side from Wednesday's update and prep video. The downside diversion and projection from it when it was initially placed, and the dead-on 100% fulfillment of that projection. Let me go back real quick to the GME and put the intra-week snakes on here. And then I'll pull up the side-by-side for you so you can see that this diversion and fulfillment was also projected. Most of you know this, but if there's any passerbys, here's GME's intra-week snakes, and here is Wednesday night's update and prep video. The location of price action within it up to the peak, the projection downside from both of the intra-week snakes prior to the downside fulfillment of it dead on 100%. All right, moving back to SPY. Sorry about that, y'all. So you can see both intra-week snakes and what the projection is from them moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill them in their current position. I believe both of them are in the straight up position. So if we choose one or the other, I will be flipping the other one to its mirrored position to potentially identify the nuanced movements throughout. They are a little bit different as far as nuanced moves go, but you can see they're almost direct mirrors of each other. So that's what I'm looking at from an intra-week snake perspective regarding SPY. The macro comparative is from the 0809 correction and crash. And I have been tracking this thing since December 2021 on this channel. And in its most recent position, you can see the bird's eye view of it and the continued fulfillment of it throughout the current location of price action within it. Right there. And the continued fulfillment of it. Here is the side-by-side from Wednesday night's update and prep video in that position. And you can see the projection from it downside and the 100% dead on downside fulfillment of that projection with both Thursday and Friday's price action. So you can see what the projection is from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Likewise to AMC and really GME as well. Everything's sitting in a W, potential W formation. SPY is right down here at that critical level of support, just like AMC is. It either puts that bounce in and fulfills the W formation at a minimum back up to their neckline, or it breaches that and we confirm downside fulfillment. Then real quick, just because it's the weekly update and prep, always bring up the SPX because I haven't charted box top or any other snakes on this intra-week micro or anything of the otherwise. So it's a clean chart for a reference to SPY here. So here is SPX. This is a daily on daily clip of the 0809 correction and crash on our current daily. You can see the location of price action within it, the continued fulfillment of it, and what the projection would be from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. My friends, my family, that is everything I have for this video. Thank you. I'm sorry it was a rough one and I was all over the place. Hopefully you stuck with me throughout. I appreciate y'all coming by to check it out. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Smash the follow button and the subscribe button. I guess it's not a follow button. See what I mean? The subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. And shoot me a comment. Let me know how your weekend went, how Thursday, Friday went. I haven't heard from anybody. So let me know how things are going. I will get an update and prep video out tomorrow after market close, like always. Good luck in the market tomorrow. Make some extreme gains for yourselves. And I'll talk to you all on the next one. Thank God this is over. Later.